With our report on the president's retreat on earmarks.
It was a campaign staple, getting control of the federal dollars lawmakers use for pet projects back home.
I pledge to slash earmarks by more than half when I'm president of the United States of America.
Today, in a thread-the-needle approach, President Obama both broke and honored that pledge. At issue, old business, a $410 billion spending bill Congress did not pass last year. It is loaded with earmarks from Democrats and Republicans. Taxpayers for Common Sense is a centrist organization working to cut wasteful government spending.
You know, the $7.7 billion in earmarks in this bill, some of them may not be wasted. Some of those may be for worthy projects, but we don't know that.
The president signed the bill behind closed doors.
No reason other than the fact that some things are signed in public and some aren't.
Though he made law in private, the president criticized in public.
I am signing an imperfect omnibus bill because it's necessary for the ongoing functions of government, and we have a lot more work to do.
Technically not true. Congress could have passed temporary bills to keep the government running, as it did last year with President Bush. But Democratic sources say as the president looked down the road at what's ahead, this was not a fight he wanted.
We can't have Congress bogged down at this critical juncture in our economic recovery.
Before signing the pork-laden bill, the president outlined measures to rein in earmarks. Republicans went at him.
This gives voice to St. Augustine's lament, give me sobriety, but not yet.
Thank you very much, everybody.
The president's anti-earmark plan expands the White House role in the earmark process. Federal agencies would be given 20 days to say whether a project is worthwhile. Any earmark to a for-profit company would have to be open to competitive bidding. A couple of weeks ago, as the White House signaled its intention to put together earmark reforms, House Democratic leader Steny Hoyer told reporters, "I don't think the White House has the ability to tell us what to do." Nonetheless, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Leader Harry Reid put out statements today incorporating the president's plan with their own earmark reforms. Despite some Capitol Hill uneasiness about White House involvement in the earmark process, the president's going to get a pass on this one. There will be no grumbling here, one Democrat told me. This was one of his campaign promises. Lou?
No grumbling, as you, a terrific report, by the way. But no grumbling because, I mean, that's part of the family business there, isn't it?
Right. Well, this is certainly something that you could say lawmakers get hooked on pretty darn easily. I mean, let's face it, regardless of whether the project is worthwhile or not, you send, you know, a bundle of hundreds back to the district. It does pretty well for you when you get reelected. So it's very hard to take the politics out of the lawmaker. We will see going forward just whether these outline of things that the president wants to do will have any effect on those earmarks.
I have a funny feeling that Steny Hoyer's observation will ultimately prevail. Thank you very much, Candy Crowley. President Obama reportedly has at least one earmark in the so-called omnibus spending bill. It's an earmark that no longer bears the president's name, of course. The Congressional Quarterly reporting that because the White House and the Senate Appropriations Committee insist the item is not technically an earmark. Congressional Quarterly saying the president was one of a group of senators who secured nearly $8 million for vocational training in New Mexico and North Dakota. Meanwhile, Vice President Joe Biden and several cabinet members are big supporters of earmarks, nearly $20 million of them. The vice president, for example, won approval for over $4 million to help repair I-95 in Delaware. The president's chief of staff, former Congressman Rahm Emanuel, securing $3.5 million for street repairs in Chicago, of course. And another former congressman, Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood, has written at least 3 earmarks for a museum in his hometown of Peoria, Illinois. Earmarks worth more than $400,000. Treasury Secretary